So I'm going to be doing my makeup. Done my hair already. But I'm going out for a little bit, and so I'm gonna do a little quick, just, you know, nothing major, get ready with me, or just like makeup look. Very natural, basic bitch. Okay. I'm going to be doing a story time about how my coworker stole from me. So, honey, this was so dramatic. So at the time I was working in San Francisco at this gym, but it was like at the juice bar, and I was like a lead there. And I ended up, and this is like, actually, just to give a little background, this place is in like this really bougie area in San Francisco. And it was like, yeah, it was just really bougie. But either way, it was like me and this one girl were like the only black people at the store. And I don't know, I just eventually befriended her. I don't know, it was like an older lady. But yeah, I just ended up befriending her. And yeah, we became cool. We were like always close together. And we both, we were the only workers that lived in the East Bay, which is like what you would consider over the bridge from San Francisco. So we were the only ones that that lived over there. So I don't know, I just befriended her in a way like outside of work. And it wasn't even like in a serious way or anything. It was just, we would always close. So, and I noticed she would take the bus all the way from where Golden Gate Bridge is, which, if you know where that's at, all the way over there to like Oakland. That's pretty far to take a bus. So I eventually was like, oh, okay, like let me start, you know, I started giving this girl rides and shit, like, cause Loki felt bad, and she was cool. I always end up befriending like older people at work, so it was more of like a respect thing. I'm like, okay, I respect you, I'll give you. And she lived like, at the time I was staying in San Leandro, which is like more south, but over the bridge from like San Francisco and the Oakland area. And she lived like right off the bridge, so it was like nothing to just get off the bridge and just drop her off. And then usually she would like smoke me out. So I'm like, that's a cool exchange. Like, you know, I don't mind, especially if I'm already going in that direction. But yeah, so the day that the craziness went down. So, this new girl started working there. Also another older lady. I have to put tons of layers of this shit on because of my acne scars, okay? I don't know what they did to this shit, but like, it is not as good as it used to be. So I feel like I always have to put on a little extra. I'm not using this next time. But yeah, anyways, I was the lead at this juice bar, so I had to train this girl, or the new girl. So I just remember that night, it was a normal night. It was like teaching the lady how to close. And I don't know, it was pretty normal. I feel like the lady was just like super, I'm gonna call her Angela. So I feel like Angela was a little bit more happier than any other night, but I mean, it wasn't nothing unusual. And so I just remember I was training the new girl, or new lady, be respectful, the new lady. And from my understanding, I think the new lady went on her lunch first. Angela went after her, and I went last. And just from what I remember, yeah, so the back area where we kept all of our things was like really it's like really small. It wasn't a locker. It was like literally you threw your shit on top of like water bottles like that are just sitting there like waiting to be like put out. It was literally like no like real area for your things to be like separated from others or like secure. So I would always come with like a backpack, because since it was a gym, like a juice bar in a gym, I got a free membership, so I would like work out before I would work. So I would like put my things together in a particular way and like hide my wallets and stuff, money and important stuff at the bottom, and like it would just be put in like a certain way. And I just remember when I went to go get my things, or when I went on my lunch, and I just looked at my bag and I was like, my bag looked unusual. I don't know, let me check it. Like something about it, I looked at it and it looked really shuffled, and I'm like, okay, I usually don't leave my stuff like that, so let me see what's up. Girl, when I tell you, I go in my fucking wallet, I immediately check my wallet. I go in my wallet, and literally this week, okay, so I was broke as fuck at this time, and I remember this week I literally only had like $40 to my name for like gas. And literally that's all it was for gas, because at the time I was commuting from Sacramento to San Francisco. I would stay at my mom's house during the week, but like literally that was all I had for gas to like get to where I needed to go, because Sacramento to where I lived at the time was like, or was working at and living at, was like an hour and 45 minutes. So I would eat and stuff like with my mom, like she would make me like lunches for work and stuff like that, but that was pretty much all the money I had until I got paid.
Oh, the ghetto. The ghetto.
So girl, when I went into my wallet and noticed that week that $40 was gone, ooh, I freaked out. But I was calm. Like I went out and I asked them, I'm like, did you guys see like $40 anywhere? And my thing is, I knew where it was at, because in my wallet it was in a particular place for me to not touch it until I needed gas. So I knew that even if they did know where it was at, like they weren't gonna tell the truth, because it's not like I dropped it. Like I knew it was in there. So nobody said anything, but the lady still was kind of like, I don't know, she was kind of like weirdly chipper, like, oh no, like I don't know, she was just a little weird.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
But yeah, I started freaking out. I go in the bathroom, I start crying because I'm like, a bitch is broke and I have no gas money. So I immediately text my manager and I'm like, dude, someone stole my shit here. Like, I knew it. I was like, someone stole my shit. And he was just like, oh, like, you know, don't trip. Just, you know, go into the cash register when you're closing tonight and take the $40 out. So I'm like, cool. So we closed. I was very quiet when I went back from my lunch. I was very quiet. I didn't want to talk to anybody, but something in me, I knew it wasn't the new girl. For some reason, something told me it was like, it wasn't her. It had to been, you know, the other chick. So anyways, the next day, guess who wasn't there? But yeah, guess who wasn't there? Like, she had called out because someone was in the hospital. So the next day, like, I just knew, I was like pissed because I already knew that I was working with her. So, but yeah, when I got there, she had called out. Someone was sick, and then the next day she did it again. And then just eventually she never showed up. And it's crazy because around that time, well, no, basically since that had happened, I'm like, even though I got my money back, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't feel comfortable working there with somebody who would do that, especially to someone who is like looking out for you. Even though they didn't ask, it did get to a point where she did start asking me for rides, but I didn't mind it, you know? But it's just crazy, like, that happened. And like, I was cool with her. Like, I already knew it was her, and I think she knew that I knew it was her. And I think she knew that people knew that it was her, because maybe on the second day that she called out, one of the assistant managers was like, yeah, we've noticed that with her. Basically, like, she would steal from the cash registers, basically. And she was a fraud ass bitch. She was a thief, basically. She was a known thief, and they didn't want to fire her, I guess. They didn't have any full proof to fire her. Which I'm like, y'all got cameras? Y'all didn't think, like, after y'all noticed it a couple times, y'all would look back at the cameras? Like, I don't understand. That was kind of weird. I don't know. I'm like, you don't even care to look? Like, that was just wild. That was very wild to me. I'm like, what the fuck? So y'all just cool with people just stealing. But anyways, being that I knew she was this is before she we noticed that she was not coming back to work. I had already started reaching out to other people, like, hey, y'all know somewhere I can work at? Like, at the time I was for real doing bad, but after that it kind of went up from there. I ended up getting a job at Nordstrom that paid pretty well. I don't work there now, but as soon as I left there, because they were paying good for what it was, but what it wasn't where I needed to be. So, but anyways, I think after that incident happened, I was there for like maybe another week and a half, and then I was out. Maybe not even that. It was probably like a week, and then I was like already at another job. So I'm like, we're not finna do that. I love this. My gosh, I love this. I just bought this NYX brow pencil, and it is a life saver. Oh my god. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is that Angela would always work like super long hours. So, and I would always work the closing shift. So, I ended up finding out that the same day that she stole out of my bag, she actually stole from another coworker that was working the morning shift. And, yeah, I basically didn't find out until the next day when I was complaining about it.